going to be watching. I built a 20,000 watt microwave oven, and this was recommended in the Discord. So if you have any videos you want me to watch, go put them in there. Yippee! Okay, let's go.
This video is sponsored by Opera. So hear me out. A typical microwave oven is about 1,000 watts. Well,
really?
I'm wondering what kind of fun could be had with an oven that's 20 times stronger. I'm sure many of you have wondered this as well.
Yes.
But if not, there are a few things that a 20,000 watt microwave would accomplish. Now, the obvious one is cooking food faster. I mean, in this day and age, I shouldn't have to wait minutes to cook a Hot Pocket.
It'll probably explode though, right? Like, I imagine, I'm not a scientist, but if you blast like boom, 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 stuff that fast, it'll probably just explode. I made plasma in the microwave one time.
Oh no, this should take seconds. Microwave experiments should be 20 times more exciting as well. I mean, even an oven like this is capable of some cool tricks.
Is that a fire?
So I'm hoping that throwing obscene powers at these classic demos will give some fun surprises. And this brings up my last point. The plasmas that could be made would be hellish.
Yeah!
Like seriously, if you thought plasmas in a normal oven were cool, imagine the kind of witchcraft that you could pull off at extreme power. Is there anything that it wouldn't melt?
Put an Xbox in there. Original Xbox. No. Xbox with the red ring of death. I want to see what happens.
There's only one way to find out. Let's build a 20,000 watt microwave.
How?
So, how do you get 20,000 watts out of a microwave oven?
I don't know.
Well, you only need to upgrade 2 components. Let me open one of these up and show you what I mean. Now, I gotta say it, the power supply in a microwave oven is lethal. In fact,
it is?
when science hobbyists get killed by their projects,
what?
more often than not, it's because they were screwing around with microwave parts.
What?
Like these.
It's so gullible.
Anyway,
it's really not the truth.
This right here is what generates the microwave radiation in an oven. It's called a magnetron. Now, interestingly, this is actually a vacuum
that that mother
tube,
sucker from Transformers?
which means unlike phones, TVs, and radios, the main technology in microwaves is the same as it was 70 years ago.
They never changed it out? So microwaves are still deadly? How has nobody, like, reinvented the microwave?
Pretty cool, right? So can you just dump more power into this magnetron and get more power out? Well, you can, but only to a point. I've actually tried this, but I only got to a few thousand watts before it blew up. So this method won't get me to 20 kilowatts. I simply need a bigger magnetron.
Oh my god!
Now, unfortunately, even though oven magnetrons are a dime a dozen, big ones are really hard to come by.
Yeah.
In fact, I've been waiting for years to make a video like this, but I simply couldn't find a big magnetron. However, my luck finally changed.
How?
Enter the Megatron.
Whoa! Wait, he's chunky. Look at that thing. He's huge. Something gave birth to that.
This water-cooled beast is rated for 16,000 watts of drive power.
Wow.
And I plan on pushing it to 20. It's actually kind of funny that I'm even allowed to own this.
I always think about that. We've been watching a lot of science videos, and I'm like, how are they allowed to legally have that? Like, when we were watching Niall, he was buying some crazy stuff.
There's a bit of lore to how I obtained this beast.
Yeah, lore.
It was an eBay purchase, but it was not me that found the listing. It was the notorious Discord entity Charizard Wrecked.
Where did Come and Go involve himself in that?
That tipped me off to some monster magnetrons being sold as heat exchangers. I bought a few, and although one came DOA, 2 were still functional.
Oh.
I was salty about the dead unit, but then a scorpion jumped out of the package.
What?
Which I thought was a pretty cool consolation prize. Since I don't know anything about—
Wait, scorpions glow in the dark? Oh my god, they should employ them at like mini golf places, so if you needed to find an employee, it would be pretty easy.
About scorpions, I asked Arya to identify it and tell me what it eats, as well as help convince me to keep it as a pet. Arya is the built-in AI that's unique to Opera, which is actually the browser cool enough to sponsor this video.
Insane ad!
Opera is a fast and redesigned browser that's packed with features to maximize productivity. Now, one thing I really like about Opera is the concept of tab islands. If you're the type of nerd to watch a video like this, there's a good chance you're like me and let your browser tabs—
Is that a squirrel? Okay, I feel like I have to lore drop really fast. I hate squirrels now. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. My internet kept going out and I didn't know why until it totally went out one day and the tech came by and he said that a squirrel was probably munching on my box. Okay, that sounds bad out of context, but you know what I mean.
to get a bit chaotic. Now, don't let the haters fool you. You'll definitely come back to those tabs at some point. With tab islands, you don't need to close out of tabs to declutter. You can simply group them together by context, which makes them much easier to find later. You can even mark tabs by an emoji, which I found to be a great way to quickly find a tab. As I've already mentioned, Opera stands out with its integrated browser AI Aria. I can bring it up in an instant with a command line, and then have it tell me how to power a magnetron or generate images of my scorpion as my lab assistant. However,
you can find anything
my favorite
online.
feature of
It's
Aria
insane.
is that it can summarize a page, which is very time-saving.
Oh, that's good for me. I don't like to read.
Opera has lots of other features I like as well. For example, I can highlight text and have it explained, and the same feature can translate text as well.
Oh,
There's also an ad blocker that you can turn on and off wherever you want, as well as an integrated free VPN. So yeah, if you're looking for a smoother, more productive AI-powered browser, you should definitely give Opera a spin and click the link in the description.
Okay.
Thank you to Opera for sponsoring this video.
I'll think about it.
Anyway, what do I do with this now? So can I just jam this thing in there and call it a day? Well, there's one problem with that.
Anime characters be like,
they don't fit. I could have just built a bigger waveguide, but I thought back to some of the oldest microwaves that I took apart over the years.
Whoa!
And I remembered that some of the oldest ones
That thing is retro! That shit looks like it's from Fallout, does it not? Wow, that is really cool.
Big waveguides inside of them. So I picked up this old radar range microwave from the 70s, and I just love how it looks.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's also just built like a tank. Like, they don't make microwaves like they used to. Gosh, this thing weighs like 80 or 90 pounds, I think.
That thing is so old, it probably walked up and down the hill both ways to get to school.
So it's a real beast. The huge magnetron fits perfectly inside the oven, but it brings up another issue. How am I gonna power it? I need 20 times more power than this thing can provide. So perhaps I can take apart 20 microwaves, chain together the transformers, and power it that way? Nope, that sounds horrible. I have a better solution in mind.
What?
I bought this cute distribution transformer that'll be perfect for the job. Now, it is technically a bit undersized for the load, but for short runs, it'll be fine.
Wait, that's undersized? How big do those things get? Oh my god, that's huge!
All right, it's all wired up now. Let's fire this beast up.
That bucket looks like a frog.
Now, before I stick anything crazy in there, I just want to try boiling some water to make sure it actually works. Now, I will admit that running this thing isn't quite as straightforward as running a household oven. So let me show you the startup sequence. Now, you do have to close the door because there's no safety interlock to prevent you from cooking the room if you leave it open. I'm going to start by firing up this water pump here.
This is like a torture
next,
device.
I'm going to go here and fire up the magnetron filament.
Whoa.
Next, I'm going to hit this switch here, which energizes that boosting auto transformer, which then feeds my Variac.
Is this how you play Satisfactory?
I'm going to take my Variac and crank it all the way to 100. And this switch right here is what...
Danger, you will die. Oh my god!
Finally powers it up.
Good thing I can't read.
So, let's boil some water. A typical microwave oven takes nearly 2 minutes to bring a cup of water to its boiling point.
Okay, I have to say this just so that you guys know that I'm mentally ill. I thought this was Shadow the Hedgehog. It's like the same proportions. I was like, what is he doing here?
This one goes beyond that in seconds. Yes,
Holy
water actually explodes because it superheats faster than it can boil.
That's awesome.
If water explodes in there, imagine what'll happen to things you aren't supposed to microwave. I'm sure you're dying to see how fast food will cook in that thing.
Yeah!
But the fact that it makes water explode means I gotta try some of the classic microwave experiments first. So,
grapes,
let's see what it does to a light bulb.
Oh my god.
What could possibly go wrong? All right. Here we go.
I like this guy. Whoa! Oh my god, he's like a mad scientist. Whoa.
Wow. It's just instantaneous. Oh my gosh.
I just read, hey mods, quick question. Whose basement would you rather be in? Barry's like you are now, or this guy's? They're gonna say this guy's.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They get pizza on Fridays at mine, though.
Look at that. It just turned it into dust. Oh, that is so funny. Jeez. By comparison, when I tried this in a normal oven, it took nearly 10 seconds to melt through.
Oh, that's not
and it didn't
fast
even
enough.
come close to exploding.
Whoa!
Is it a good idea to microwave an egg? Let's
What came
find
first,
out.
the microwave or the egg?
All right. Here we go. Oh my goodness.
I do not want to clean that
I tried
up.
an egg in a normal oven as well, and it took over 30 seconds to pop. And wasn't
way
nearly as violent.
way too long.
I'm curious what'll happen to a plasma globe inside this thing.
Chat, just wondering, where can you buy a plasma globe if you want one? Spirit Halloween?
All right. How do I even do this kind of stuff?
Oh! Oh, it's just one of those globes where it goes bzz, bzz, bzz. I thought it was full of plasma. Okay, my bad, sorry. I thought that it was full of like a crazy chemical. Oh, it is? So you could like bust it open and drink it? That's crazy. Whoa! That is cool! Wow, I like that one!
That was so loud. Oh my gosh. Wow. That was crazy. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
I want a basement like this.
It's just like powder. Oh, you gotta see this. That was reduced into dust.
Dust
It's
too?
just dust. There's like, those pieces are so tiny. That's crazy. That actually exploded so violently that bits of glass shot holes in the microwave guide cover. Yikes. Now speaking of plasma,
Ooh, I love
the metallic
Doritos.
coating on this chip bag should be pretty interesting.
I like Cool Ranch better.
The shrink ray.
Whoa! It was cold outside. He's not normally that small.
Instantly. A lit candle can be crazy in a normal oven, so I figured it'd be worth trying in this thing as well.
Oh my god, it's a flamethrower! Science
A funny
is so
side
cool!
effect of all that plasma is that it turns the air in there into deadly nitrogen dioxide gas, which gives it that brown color.
You can just make stuff like that at home? Oh my god, America is awesome.
Now, if you're wondering how I'm filming inside the oven, I just have a hole drilled in the cavity there. And then over here, I just have a cell phone that's just taped to the walls there.
What?
Now this works because the hole is pretty small relative to the microwave wavelength, so it doesn't let much radiation out. Now, I'm not the first YouTuber to use this technique.
Okay.
I think Cody's Lab was the first to do it on YouTube. But then now Red has a good video on microwave plasmas that uses this. And then Steve Mold actually has a whole video about, filming inside a microwave. Anyway, I think it's time we cook some actual food in this thing.
Yeah!
And it's funny because after years of doing everything with a microwave that you're not supposed to, I'm finally going to come full circle and use a microwave oven to simply heat some food. Let's start with a Hot Pocket.
You're all gonna hate me for this take, but the best Hot Pocket? Ham and cheese croissant. Because you get the flaky crust and the flavor of cheddar. That sounded like an ad. No, my dad just always had to work out of town, so we were eating Hot Pockets, microwave burritos, microwaved pancakes for breakfast, sometimes a Nutri-Grain bar.
The instructions say it needs to cook for nearly 3 minutes in a puny home oven. I'm hoping this macrowave will cook it faster. Well, it didn't explode, but I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, it's growing. It's inflating. Hot Pocket inflation.
All right, let's take a look. Oh yeah, looks done. Oh yeah, it feels done too.
Eat it, eat it, eat it.
Well, there's your 10-second Hot Pocket. Now the most surprising part about this is that it cooked evenly, because I know this oven has some hot spots. I wonder how quickly a hot dog will cook
that's
in this thing.
exploding. That's exploding. If you don't Twitch Prime to twitch.tv/BerryCrepe, this is gonna be your hot dog.
I was kind of hoping it would explode, but at least it was cooked in seconds. I actually left it in there way too long, judging by what it looks like afterwards. I chucked a potato in there without stabbing any holes in it, also with the hope that it would explode. But unfortunately, it simply flash cooked like it was supposed to.
Aww.
It did make some funny whistling sounds though.
Oh, sounds like a bird.
Fact, a lot of foods make that funny whistle.
Not
pickles
Rick.
turned out to be one of the best noisemakers. Let's test.
He was screaming in despair. He wanted to be put out of his misery.
Test another microwave food classic, popcorn.
I love popcorn.
This one was actually kind of disappointing because it took 30 seconds to pop fully. Now this is several times faster than a normal oven, but I was hoping it'd be instantaneous. At least it didn't burn though.
It looks good.
Now it's time for everybody's favorite food to microwave, the grape.
Yes! Yes! This is what I did! During my last cooking stream, if you cut them in half and you put them next to each other, they create plasma.
And you know what? Let me go ahead and cut it almost in half, just to make sure, it heats nice and evenly, you know?
Yes, he knows!
Like this.
Yes!
And yeet.
Whoa. That is so cool.
The fragrant smell of roasted grape is hidden by the suffocating nitrogen dioxide fumes, which is the deadly brown gas left in the beaker there. Instead of cutting a grape in half,
Does that hurt
I just
the
tossed in
beaker?
some unmodified grapes to see if I'd get the same result. Yep, grapes are haunted. These grape plasmas are incredibly bright, but of particular interest is their color. They glow white and even have bits of blue coming through.
Whoa, blue guy!
I'm wondering if they're being heated beyond white hot to blue hot.
Is blue hot the hottest, or is there hotter than blue hot? I don't know. I don't know the scales of hot. I'm kind of curious.
The big brain way to answer this question would be to take a UV visible spectrum, fit it to the Planck radiation law, and determine the temperature that way.
Oh, there's
But you know what?
laws?
That doesn't sound nearly as fun as chucking a bunch of metal in there
Yeah,
and seeing what kind of
no
hell is
laws.
unleashed. So yeah, let's do that. Let's see if the microwave can melt magnesium ribbon, or at least see what kind of plasma it'll make.
Whoa, that looks cool. It looks like a little League of Legends ult.
Not only did it melt and burn in there, but it also managed to show off some of its green spectral colors, which is in contrast to the white you get by simply burning it in air. Aluminum melts at only slightly higher temperatures than magnesium, but for the sake of curiosity, I'm going to toss some foil in there anyway.
I thought you said, like, for the sake of curiosity, let's bring out the cat. No, don't put him in there.
All right, here goes nothing.
Whoa. Look how long it lasts.
Now that is like an arc furnace. Oh my goodness. Now it's time for something more challenging.
Put me in
Copper
there.
needs to be very hot before it melts.
Really?
So let's see how it holds up in the microwave.
That was quick. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it melted almost instantly. Now this also brings up an important point about the glass. It's actually astonishing how well these Pyrex beakers have held up to the plasma.
They're like expensive too, right? That was probably like $40. I don't know. That looked expensive.
The same cannot be said about this Pyrex bakeware.
Oh.
The difference is that the beakers are made from borosilicate glass,
That's why
which
they're
is very
expensive?
low thermal expansion. Pyrex bakeware used to be made from this as well, but has since been changed to tempered float glass, and its internal stress patterns are easy to see in a polariscope. This change is unfortunate for home
That's
science,
cool.
but it does make for less dangerous breaks
It looks like Bubble Buddy, doesn't it? It's like the same texture as Bubble Buddy.
in the kitchen, as it tends to explode into tiny bits as opposed to razor shards.
Oh.
Anyway, let's move up the temperature
What
scale
is
to some
that?
thermite. Thermite
that's
is so hard to
thermite.
ignite that you can buy it pre-mixed and have it shipped to you without crazy restrictions.
You can just buy this? Oh my god. Guys, we're gonna do a chemistry stream. I'm just gonna buy everything that's legal.
I'm hoping this microwave can achieve its high ignition point. Yeet.
Whoa. Oh my god!
Huh, so
Call
that's
of
what it
Duty
took to break into
map!
those speakers.
What is that map in Call of Duty where you take the bus and everything's on fire? That's what that reminded me of. I don't remember, but I did like that map. I used to play it with my sister.
It basically just exploded in
Transit,
there.
yeah, transit.
All the iron product is dispersed in little droplets. That was fun. Although that reaction made molten iron, it was kind of cheating due to all the chemical energy released. Let's try directly melting some iron in the form of steel wool.
That's how you do it in Minecraft. Oh, whoa!
Yep,
The
no problem
plate,
there.
too.
Next on the list is titanium. This stuff is quite hard to melt, but I think the microwave can pull it off.
Yeah, how much electricity does it take to make the microwave work? I don't know, yeah. What is his electric bill? It has to be insane.
All right, let's melt some titanium.
Maybe it's like a hamster in a wheel. Wow! Oh, it's like turning into goop. Whoa.
That was so bright. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Wow, this is an expensive video.
Glitter in that plate, but the titanium. Oh yeah, that melted. I can see it beaded up there. Nice.
Nice.
I'm running
Who
out
was
of
saying
metals with
that?
higher melting points, so this time I'm going to try making rubies, based on a cool video
What?
by Nighthawk and Light.
You can make rubies? Then they should cost like $2.
Okay, so I ran into a lot of issues with this one, but it was mostly due to stupidity on my part.
No,
The
no,
gist
don't
of
talk
this
yourself
procedure
down.
is that you use a microwave plasma to melt an alumina-chromia mix, which yields ruby. However, for some
Oh.
reason, I thought Ben's procedure generated the alumina via an exotic thermite reaction between chromia and metallic aluminum. This false assumption led to a lot of broken glass and several failed shots.
Aww.
The funny part is that my chromia thermite still ignited with ease, which is probably even harder to pull off than making ruby.
Doesn't that look cute? It looks like a little map in a game. Like you just walk around on there. I like it.
However, when I used alumina like I was supposed to, I still ran into issues. The plasma escaped and the glass container exploded after just a couple
You never want to hear the plasma escape. That's all right. Run, everybody, run for your lives! The plasma escaped!
seconds. Fortunately, this was still enough time to finally make some ruby. Thank goodness.
Whoa.
You know, the fact that this can be done in a normal oven means I really haven't hit an impressive temperature yet.
He's gonna do
So,
more?
let's cut the fluff and move to something extreme.
Extreme? That wasn't already extreme? What?
It's time for the metal with the highest melting point, tungsten.
Ew.
The melting point of this is literally thousands of degrees above anything else I've tried so far.
Really?
So this one
Wow.
might be challenging.
Wait, isn't this the cube? Right? This is the tungsten cube?
Alright.
Whoa. It was dancing. Whoa. Wow.
For whatever reason, the plasma in this beaker kept escaping confinement, so I couldn't give it a long enough zap. The wire may have burned a bit in there, but
Yeah,
there
it's
wasn't
okay.
any clear indication of melting, so I decided to give it another go on ceramic fiber.
Oh, that was a good idea.
Heck. Oops, waveguide flashover.
Case.
It turns out, free plasma in the oven is really bad. because it jumps back to the magnetron
Free
through the
plasma.
waveguide. I used these mica waveguide covers, which buy about a half a second of plasma escapes, but this one got all crispy without me realizing it.
Extra
It won't
crispy.
take many flashovers like this to destroy the oven.
They didn't do extra crispy at KFC in Japan, so I had to have regular. I know, worst day ever.
And unfortunately, this is not the first time this has happened either. All right, here we go. Oh, heck. All right, we got a new waveguide cover.
Frick!
Let's try this again.
Woo! Whoa! That's like Last of Us spores. Oh, it broke!
That run clearly melted some of the tungsten.
Have you ever seen I Did a Thing? No, I haven't. If you have a good I Did a Thing video, put it in the Discord.
That run clearly melted some of the tungsten, as you can see by the beading on the wire.
What happens if you
Now
eat
that is
tungsten?
impressive. So this macrowave is capable of melting any metal. But the thing is, I'd bet
That's
that
a cool
plasma
pyro
in there is
cosplay.
substantially hotter than even tungsten's melting point. Unfortunately, there's nothing tougher that I can melt, so I can only say it's at least 3,422 degrees C.
Holy
Now
crap!
something that I found is that although tungsten is the toughest metal I can throw in there, it's far from the most interesting. So to get to the point, what happens if I microwave a lithium battery?
Oh, yes!
Well, embarrassingly, I couldn't get one to pop.
Aww.
The oven itself would flash over before anything happened to the battery. I tried cheating by using some steel wool to initiate a plasma, but even then, the plasma refused to stay
Whoa,
contained.
look, it's having babies.
So, I decided on a different approach.
That's cool. Oh.
I carefully opened one up and extracted the lithium foil inside.
You can do that? Oh my god, I'm learning so much today.
Microwaving this foil gave a surprising result.
Cool! It's like purple! That was awesome.
That incredible red coloring is due to lithium's atomic emission spectrum. What I expected to see was maybe a few red flashes in an otherwise white
That was
plasma.
cool. That was my
Simply
favorite.
because the temperatures are so high.
Yeah.
The fact that the colorful spectral lines were favored opens up the possibility of all sorts of colorful plasmas.
Cool.
Now this brings up the question, what happens if I start chucking a bunch of weird chemicals and metals in there?
I like that he just keeps going. We still have like a fifth of the video left. How is he not running out of items?
Can I make a full rainbow of plasmas, at least to a Roy G. Biv approximation?
Yeah.
Well, there's only one way to find out. For the next weird metal, let's try a lump of calcium. This
How does he
sample is
have all
surprisingly
this?
still shiny, even though I've had it for years. I'm hoping it'll show off its orange spectral lines when yeeted into a plasma.
Oh, that one's angry. Oh, he's mad. Oh, he's mad.
Well, that was easy, and stupidly bright as well. On to the next one. For yellow, I'm gonna zap some sodium metal. For reasons I'll
You
get
can just
into
buy
soon,
a big,
zapping the angry and highly
hot dog of
reactive
that.
metallic form is a totally unnecessary way to see the sodium spectral colors. However, for the sake of memes, I'm gonna do it anyway. I do need to address something first, though.
What?
The last time I pulled out this lump of sodium,
That's what I said. It's huge. Look at it. It looks like a hot dog.
so many of you freaked out over the quantity.
Yeah, it's
Now
big.
let me tell you a little something. This little chunk right here is nothing.
What?
In fact, when I was 13 years old, I obtained 2 400-pound barrels of metallic sodium.
What?
Now that's a story for a different day, but be assured, this ain't much. Well, anyway, yeet.
I want to know. Well, how
I
did
want
he
to
get
point out that
those?
this exact yellow color has shown up in this video several times already, and in particular, all the times that glass has broken into plasma. This is because sodium in the glass is coloring the plasma. Now, Nile Red actually has an entire video on this very
Niall!
effect.
He does. Niall's the GOAT. If you've never seen Niall, check Niall out. Niall's awesome. That was crazy lore drop, by the way, with like no finishing on that.
It turns out, it only takes a little bit of sodium to make a lot of yellow light. And this can be a blessing or a curse depending on what you're trying to do.
He has to live somewhere southern, does he? Nobody would care if you did this in Texas, Louisiana, or Florida, and I'm speaking from experience.
With yellow down, let's move on to green. I'm
Ant
mixing
killer?
up some trimethyl borate, which will hopefully show off boron's spectral colors. Since this isn't conductive on its own, I'm using a sliver of aluminum wool to initiate it.
Okay.
It's funny because the free boron must have been thousands of times more concentrated than sodium in there.
Well, that
Yet
was
it's the
not
sodium
boron at
yellow
all.
that stuck out at first. Eventually, the boron won out though.
I like the
making
green.
a nice green color.
That was
Well,
cool.
green was easy enough, so how hard can blue be? I figured copper would be the element to zap, but then I remembered that when I melted it, it didn't make much blue light. But that's the thing about copper. It has to
Aw.
be tickled in just the right way before it'll spit out blue light.
Wait, is this how they make fireworks? I never knew how they did that. Did they just like put a bunch of chemicals in there and then they just light it up? Oh, wow! I didn't know! That's cool!
And this is why blue is such a challenge in fireworks. So,
Oh,
I tried a
answered it.
pyrotechnics trick and added a source of chlorine in the form of copper chloride.
Whoa.
This one sucked.
Oh,
I
never
was
mind.
hoping for blue
Boo.
emission from hot molecular copper chloride.
I'm
But this
easy to
really only
please.
made a little bit of blue. Maybe the
Looks
plasma
pretty,
was too
though.
hot in there.
It's like a
I don't know.
cloud.
Let's try something else. Microplastics.
A good part of the American diet, brother.
Maybe this will provide a better form of chlorine for the copper.
Yummers. Oh, that's a pretty blue.
There were a few good flashes of blue in there, but still not what I wanted.
Oh.
Maybe I just need to change metals. I carefully opened up a lantern battery to extract the
Carefully.
zinc metal casings. And what do you know? Sodium yellow. I even tried a strip of high purity zinc, and although this
Wow.
one briefly flashed blue, it was still the trace sodium contamination that stole the show.
That
Yellow
is so
chemistry
cool.
at its finest. Embarrassingly, the bluest plasma I've gotten
Everything
so
is
far
yellow.
was actually just the aluminum foil I zapped earlier. Out of desperation, I decided to try this again in a bigger beaker.
I just randomly thought about this, but do you think the microwave corpse is happy that his body is being used for science? He's so happy he's here.
With the hopes that the higher volume would lower plasma density and favor atomic emission.
Atomic emission. Whoa! That one's going a while. Oh,
Wow. All of those fancy chemicals and elements, only to be outperformed
That
by a
blue is
strip of
pretty.
aluminum foil. Chemistry is stupid. With blue finally down, it's time to take on indigo.
no! He said blue finally down. He killed blue guy.
And there's no better metal for indigo than indium. It's no coincidence they sound so similar, because indium was actually named after the color indigo.
Oh,
Why
cool.
this is becomes very apparent when indium is zapped by my demon circuit, as it makes more indigo light than I've ever seen in my life.
How much stuff does he have in his basement? We need like a house tour. Does he have a video where he tours all of the stuff in his basement? That would be really cool.
Can the same be done with a microwave? Let's plasmify some indium wire and find out. Blue? Ah! I tried so hard to get blue
Blue?
earlier, and now it shows up when I don't want it. Figures. Instead of indium wire, I melted some of the metal in the bottom of a beaker, hoping that it would provide more metal to the
Whoa,
plasma.
mimic tier.
Nope, still blue.
It's all blue.
In
Double D,
hindsight,
double
the ceramic
da.
fiber base was probably poisoning the color there, but I
Oh.
didn't consider that before trying the next experiment. I added some indium chloride, hoping either the chlorine or pre-ionized indium would change
This
the
looks
color.
like drugs.
This was a big improvement, and although the plasma was a bit obscured by the smoke, I would have probably stopped here if it wasn't for the next experiment.
That is pretty.
As a side note, I should mention that while indium metal is essentially non-toxic,
So
indium
soft.
smoke is really bad to breathe in,
Oh.
as is ceramic fiber dust. These are one of many reasons I'm wearing a respirator.
I just noticed he had the I voted thing on there.
Anyway, I decided to try microwaving some gallium crystals. Most people know gallium for its very low melting temperature.
You can play with it? Whoa, that was fun. I'd be shaking like this. That is cool. It's like oobleck.
But it turns out it has a beautiful emission spectrum as well.
Whoa.
Some crystals in the bottom of a beaker were enough to give some interesting colors. And flipping the beaker over really brought out the color. And what do you know? There's the last of the colors.
That's
violet.
beautiful.
I didn't stop there though. I was curious what would happen if I made an alloy of gallium and indium, and then zapped that. Sure enough, a nice clear indigo started to come through. After playing with ratios and settling on an alloy that was mostly indium, I created my favorite plasma of this entire project.
You can just make stuff. That's insane. I don't know. I know that's like a very weird statement to make, but like, you could just be a scientist in your basement. Wow. It goes forever.
Holy! Wow! Wow! That was perfect!
That was cool.
Beautiful! Yes!
Yes! That was so cool.
Oh, so beautiful! Oh,
You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking.
I've made every color I wanted to and melted every element I wanted to. And I don't even want
Wow.
to stop here. However, this video is getting pretty long.
No, I like it.
There's
Keep
still
going.
so much more I want to do with.
What is that? That's something from Silent Hill. Oh my god, look at how spiky it is. I'm scared.
My huge magnetrons. I even made this cool Faraday helmet for some of my more cursed ideas. I should probably save those experiments for a separate video, just because I don't want to rush through them. Instead, let me try to address some questions that I just know you guys will ask about otherwise.
Yeah, what did you do with Mad Max?
What does it do to electronics?
Not the TI-30X2S. I don't know. I had one that we were all making like pictures and stuff on when I was in my classes.
Well, most things I threw in there gave the same result. RAM sticks, plasma.
Yeah,
Neon bulbs,
TI-84.
plasma. PCBs, plasma.
What's that?
Christmas lights, some funny colors, but mostly plasma. The only electronic device that didn't ionize was this broken calculator.
Oh.
But the smoke it made was essentially a chemical war crime.
Oh my
I tried
god.
CDs as well, but their coatings vaporized in a fraction of a second. So, what about the health risks of this contraption?
Yeah.
Well, the real risk here isn't microwaves, it's the power supply. Now, put simply, you touch any of this stuff while it's live, you'll die instantly.
It'll just kill you? Because it's hot, or it'll explode, or what? Why? Why does it just kill you?
But as for the tiny bit of microwaves that escape the oven,
Oh, it
those
just
are harmless for the same.
What am I thinking of? For some reason, I think I have this mental thing where I just hear like sound effects in my head. And the sound effect I just heard was zap, zap. Oh, that's from SpongeBob, thank you.
reason your Wi-Fi router is harmless. And that's because microwaves are non-ionizing radiation. Hold up. Microwaves are non-ionizing radiation? Didn't I just spend the entire video ionizing stuff with microwaves? Yes. So let me explain by briefly talking about radiation. Now this word scares a lot of people because they associate it with scary forms that cause cancer.
Yeah, Fallout 4.
But not all radiation is this way. Microwaves are a type of electromagnetic radiation. This type of radiation includes scary stuff like X-rays, as well as just
and
light.
math. Ew.
This does not include particle radiation, like you get from some kinds of radioactive decay.
Oh.
Now this is where things get confusing. Ionizing radiation includes high-energy EM stuff, as well as particle radiation, and nuclear radiation falls here as well. But not all ionizing EM radiation is nuclear radiation, if that makes sense as well. But not all ionizing EM radiation is nuclear radiation, if that makes sense.
No, I follow.
Okay, all that considered, you may have heard that light has properties of both a particle and a wave, right?
I didn't know that.
Well, this is where the distinction of ionizing comes in.
Oh.
Ionizing EM radiation is where one light particle, or photon, has enough energy to strip an electron off of an atom and ionize it.
It's stripping?
Photons with this energy can mutate DNA leading to cancer. A microwave photon is literally 1,000,000 times weaker than this threshold. Now, to be fair, a photon doesn't have to be quite at ionizing energy to be cancer-causing.
Look how big they get.
As UV can still cause damaging photochemical reactions to DNA.
What is that?
But even this is 100,000 times more energetic than microwaves.
Is that a laser?
Then how do microwaves ionize stuff? So bear with me. I've already mentioned that microwaves are electromagnetic, which means they have an associated electric and magnetic field. Now, it's the electric field that's relevant here, and an important property about these fields is that they add up. That means that when you put enough microwaves in a small enough space, the electric field grows to the point where it can rip apart atoms and molecules on its own. This effect is not exclusive to microwaves, and even visible light will ionize air if there's enough of it.
Is that like LASIK?
Sticking your hand in the oven won't shoot a bunch of holes in your DNA and give you cancer. It will simply cook it like you dunked it in lava.
Oh, that's so much better.
Of course, burns only happen at huge powers. At low power, like what leaks through the oven door, those risks simply aren't there. Oh, and for the record, I did measure the microwave leakage from this, and it's so small that it's well within the legal safety limits of what's allowed to be sold for home use.
Cool.
It's incredibly well sealed. Well, other than one mishap where the tape on the door exploded and EMP'd one of my cameras.
What?
But we don't need to worry about that. So hopefully that convinced you that microwaves are safe in small amounts. Because on an unrelated note, I now have to give you an update on my health issues.
What?
Now before I end this video, I think I'm obligated to give you some updates on what I brought up in my last video.
What happened?
As a recap, I recently found out that I have just like bonkers testosterone levels.
What?
And this is concerning because I also have had these unexplained markers for liver disease going back more than 10 years. Well, since posting that video, I went through the medical ringer. I got poked and irradiated and fondled in about like every way you can imagine. And no actual disease was identified.
Okay.
Although they still found a little bit of liver scarring on the liver biopsy. Now, even though I don't know what's wrong, this is still a pretty good result because it means that, well, it rules out a bunch of nasty diseases.
Yeah.
But also means that whatever is wrong doesn't seem to be progressing very quickly. Now, if something changes or if by some chance I actually solve this mystery, I'll be sure to let you guys know.
Well, get Scooby-Doo
Now,
on it.
many of you brought up that I may have caused these issues due to all my experiments.
Oh my God, people said that to him? Holy crap. I would not want to like be open about my medical history and then have everybody in the comments saying it's my fault. That's sad.
And of course, I can't help but wonder that
That's
as well.
horrible.
I mean, maybe it shouldn't be a surprise that somebody that does what I do has, you know, weird and unexplained disease. But you know what? I know it wasn't microwaves that caused it, or anything high voltage like Tesla coils, because I've had these disease markers since before I ever messed with that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Now, chemicals, or I guess technically lasers for some reason, I mean, yeah, it's possible. I like to think I've been pretty careful to limit exposures.
You see the kitty over there? Sorry, I had to say something. And also he looks like he's like in The Last of Us.
But then again, I've been doing that stuff my whole life, so it's possible that some, you know, small exposures added up to something. But you know, I wonder about the reverse possibility as well. I never had my testosterone levels measured before this year, but because I don't have any symptoms of like hormone changes, there's a good chance they've always been that way. And in assuming that is true, then I wonder how much of a role did that play in my extreme hobbies? I mean, basically every activity I enjoy is dangerous. And
what other activities does he do? What's another extreme activity other than super microwaving stuff?
And it's been that way since I was a preteen. And considering the associations of testosterone
He eats pineapple on pizza. Oh my God.
with risk-seeking behavior, I feel like, you know, bonkers hormone levels to start with might explain some things. So yeah, you know, whether I caused my crazy body chemistry or whether crazy body chemistry caused me, I feel like both are about as equally likely. So that's about all I have for you today.
I hate you, squirrel.
So until the next time, stay safe and happy microwaving.
Oh, he was hungry. That was an awesome video. I had never seen one of the videos that he's made before, but that was great. Holy clap. That was awesome. That was so cool. We got to see like so much stuff. I loved all the colors. And every time I thought it wasn't going to get even more extreme, it did. That was great. Thank you for sharing that in the Discord. That was like my favoriteest video we've watched probably so far. That was awesome. Thank you.